Okay, so I did question number one, which was what is the significance of the change in the chromosome number within wheat? And after I read the article and watched the YouTube video, I think the change in wheat's chromosomes made it more complex and increased its gluten. So this would make bread easier to bake, but harder for people to digest, which leads to problems like non-celiac wheat sensitivity or celiac disease, um, people having to eat gluten-free, stuff like that.
So, for question number two, referencing the difference in glycemic index for wheat and sugar, to address this question properly, we need to define the glycemic index. The glycemic index of a food is a numerical value assigned to the food that defines its effect on blood sugar. The number is assigned in relation to a control substance, which is most commonly glucose, as it is a simple sugar and spikes the blood sugar quickly. The glycemic index of wheat is significantly higher than sugar due to its fiber content. This is because the fiber content extends the time for digestion, which gives it a higher glycemic index. The longer something takes to break down and digest is the longer it takes to enter the bloodstream. Sugar, on the other hand, such as table sugar, has no fiber, no protein. It's nothing but a simple carbohydrate for the most part. So it has no barriers to absorption, so it's absorbed very quickly by the small intestine. Numerically speaking, wheat typically has a glycemic index clocking in around 72. White sugar, such as table sugar, clocks in at 59. Numerically, this difference may not seem super big. However, the 13-point difference creates a massive change in how your body reacts to it. Whole wheats are typically much better, such as brown rice. Whole wheat breads over white breads are higher on the scale than more processed grains.
Question was number three, was to correlate Dr. Davis's discussion of opioid peptides in wheat and the effects on the human physiology. So I found that Dr. Davis argues that wheat contains the opioid peptides that can and will act as an opioid in the human body when it's ingested. Certain protein fragments can be broken down into smaller peptides that will bond to the opioid receptors in our bodies. So it increases cravings and appetites, and it's difficult for us to be able to control food intake. It creates an addictive behavior within our bodies towards wheat-based foods. So yeah, he really things that like our flour, even down to the ingredients, have been altered in ways where it contains opioid peptides. So yeah.
So question 4, what do plants innately possess to protect themselves? So plants possess lectins, which are toxic proteins designed to defend against invaders such as molds, fungi, and insects. Lectins act as a simpler form of immunity compared to what we have. They create somewhat of a biochemical shield to either deter or harm these invaders. Wheat, for instance, contain a lectin called wheat germ agglutinin, which can cause intestinal damage and trigger inflammatory responses in humans or animals when consumed in large amounts. So question 5, based on your learning in this video, how will you utilize this information moving forward, personally or professionally? So personally, this highlights the importance of evaluating dietary choices more critically, particularly regarding processed foods and wheat consumption. I think that understanding the potentially harmful effects of modern wheat may help to lead us to reducing our intake of wheat products while making the trade towards more wholesome single ingredient foods. Professionally, I think this could influence how we educate future patients in our nursing career by emphasizing dietary awareness and helping guide our future patients towards healthier alternatives, especially for patients that might be experiencing chronic inflammatory issues or autoimmune conditions.